Hello viewers. I'm sharing latest VMware interview question and answers which will enable you to crack any VMware interview with an ease in year 2024. Keep watching my videos for latest videos and interview patterns. Subscribe to my channel and click on notification bell for latest video updates. Let's begin with the video. Question 41. What are the two reasons why a virtual machine might fail to power on? Answer. The two reasons for a virtual machine might fail to power on. Point 1. The virtual machine is running on an ESXi host which has an expired license. Point 2. The virtual machine is running on a data store which has insufficient disk space for the .vswp file. Question 42. What's VMware VM? Answer. VM stands for VMware vSphere Update Manager, is a tool that gives a patch management framework for VMware vSphere. IT administrators use VM to patch and upgrade VMware ESXi hosts, VMware tool, virtual hardware for virtual machines, and appliances. Question 43. What's an appliance in VMware? Answer. A virtual appliance consists of application software running on a pre-configured virtual machine. Question 44. What's the utilization of vCenter server? Answer. vCenter is employed to manage multiple ESXi hosts, virtual machines from one centralized location. Question 45. What are the most components of vCenter server architecture? Answer. The vCenter server architecture consists of three main components which are vSphere Web Client, vCenter Server Database and vCenter Single Sign-On. Question 46. What are the services in vCenter Server? Answer. The vCenter Server services are vCenter Server, vSphere Web Client, Inventory Service, vSphere Auto Deploy, vSphere ESXi Dump Collector, VMware vSphere Syslog Collector on Windows and VMware Sphere Syslog Service for the vCenter Server appliance. Question 47. What are the extra modules of VMware vCenter Server? Answer. VMware vCenter Server additional modules are vCenter Update Manager, vCenter Converter, and vCenter Guided Consolidation Service. Question 48. What is the best way to download VM with all necessary files for forensic investigation? Answer. We can download all flat and delta VMDK files, but best option is to import it as OVF format. Question 49. What's VMware VADP? Answer. VMware VADP is a VMware vStorage API that backs up and restores vSphere virtual machines. VADP replaces the VMware Consolidated Backup, VCB, framework. This offloads backup processing from ESX hosts and allows each ESX host to run more VMs. Question 50. What does MOB in VMware stand for? Answer. MOB in VMware stands for Managed Object Browser. Question 51. How do I enable storage DRS for the data store? Answer. The steps are: 1. Browse to the data store cluster in vCenter. 2. Click the Configure tab and click on Services. 3. Select Storage DRS and click on Edit. 4. Select Activate vSphere DRS and click on OK. Question 52. What is clone and template in VMware? Answer. Clone. Clone virtual machines are the identical copy of the parent virtual machine. However, the clone virtual machine and parent virtual machine will have different MAC addresses and UIDs. Any changes done on a cloned virtual machine will not affect the parent virtual machine and vice versa. Template. Template is the master copy or golden image of virtual machine that is used to provision multiple virtual machines with required basic configurations. Question 53. What are VMware HA and VMware FT? What is the difference between the two? Answer. VMware HA, high availability, works on cluster level. By pooling virtual machines and hosts resides into a cluster. Virtual machines running on failed hosts are forced to restart on alternate hosts. VMware FT. VMware FT, fault tolerance, works on VM level. In this, a secondary virtual machine is created and maintained as identical to the primary virtual machine, and it can be replaced when ESXi hosts fail to provide continuous availability of virtual machines. It is a complete copy of a virtual machine including storage, computation, and memory. Question 54. How many CPUs can be used for a VM in FT in vSphere 7.0? Answer. In VMware vSphere 7.0, we can use up to 8 vCPUs with VMware vSphere Enterprise Plus license. Question 55. Explain fault tolerance logging traffic. Answer. Fault tolerance logging traffic is considered to be the second network requirement. For syncing the data between primary VMs and secondary VMs, fault tolerance applies FT logging. We will need 10 gigabits networking for FT logging. Network should be low latency 1. VMware recommends dedicated networking. Go to Host, go to Manage, go to Networking. Then go to VM kernel adapters, go to Add Host Networking, select the VM kernel network adapter and select an existing standard switch or a new vSwitch. On the port properties, enable fault tolerance. Question 56. What is FT? Answer. In general terms, a second virtual machine is created to work in tandem with the virtual machine on which you have enabled fault tolerance. This virtual machine resides on a different host in the cluster and runs in virtual lockstep with the primary virtual machine. When a failure is detected, the second virtual machine takes the place of the first one with the least possible interruption of service. VMware fault tolerance can be enabled on any virtual machine that resides in a cluster that meets the necessary requirements. When a host running the primary virtual machine fails, a transparent failover occurs to the corresponding secondary virtual machine. During this failover, there is no data loss or noticeable service interruption. In addition, VMware HA automatically restores redundancy by restarting a new secondary virtual machine on another host. Similarly, if the host running the secondary virtual machine fails, VMware HA starts a new secondary virtual machine on a different host. In either case, there is no noticeable outage. We can place the original or primary virtual machine on any node. We have full control with DRS or vMotion to assign it to any node. The placement of the secondary, when created, is automatic based on the available hosts. But, when the secondary is created and placed, we can vMotion it to the preferred host. Go to VM and right-click Move Cursor on Fault Tolerance option and click Turn on Fault Tolerance. Question 57. Will FT work if the vCenter server goes down? Answer. When fault tolerance is configured for a virtual machine, vCenter server need not to be online for FT to work. Even if vCenter server is offline, failover still occurs from the primary to the secondary virtual machine. Additionally, the spawning of a new secondary virtual machine also occurs without vCenter server. The only condition is VM should be a part of vCenter cluster and only for formation of HA cluster vCenter is needed, rest of things does not require vCenter. VMware FT is the ultimate protection for your VMs and your workloads. It does not need any ingest configuration, and you don't need to install any software inside the VM or do any special configuration inside of your VMs. Question 58. What do you understand about promiscuous mode? Answer. Promiscuous mode is used for monitoring traffic. In the promiscuous mode, all the network data packets can be viewed and accessed by all the network adapters operating in this mode. It is a network security, monitoring, and administration method that allows any network adapter configured on a host system to access all network data packets. Question 59. What do you mean by cold and hot migration? Answer. Cold migration. In this migration, the powered-off VM, along with its configuration and data, is migrated from one host to another host. The VMs can be migrated manually, or one can set up scheduled tasks to perform this migration. Hot migration. In this migration, the powered-on VM is migrated from one host to another. This is also known as live migration because there is no need to shut down the virtual machine. Question 60. How can I differentiate between virtual machine port groups and VM kernel ports? Answer. The VM kernel port provides connectivity to the host, and it handles the traffic like vMotion, fault tolerance traffic, and management. The IP address is assigned to the virtual kernel adapter, VMK, of the VM kernel port group. The virtual machines are connected to the VM port group. One of the important differences is that a virtual machine port group is just passing your garden variety virtual machine traffic, and a VM kernel port group is passing traffic specific to VMware vSphere. Question 61. What's the difference between VMFS and NFS? Answer. VMFS, Virtual Machine File System. VMFS is a block-level file system that is used to store virtual machine files. In vSphere 6.0, it can also store large files up to 64 terabits in size. NFS, Network File System. NFS is a distributed file system protocol that was first developed by Sun Microsystems in 1984. It has a client-server architecture, which contains a client program, server program, and protocol that helps to communicate between the client and the server. It helps the user to access the data and files easily over the network. Question 62. What do you understand about RDM? Answer. The raw device mapping, RDM, files are contained in VMFS and act as proxies for raw physical devices. This helps virtual machines access logical unit numbers, LUN, directly. The RDM contains metadata used for managing and redirecting disk access to the physical device. Question 63. What are the feature difference between VMware 6.0 and 7.0? Answer. Below are the few important feature difference amongst many. First we will describe vSphere 6.0, then we'll describe feature for vSphere 7.0. vSphere 6.0 features are as below. HTML5 and web client both supported. Hardware version 14. VMware Update Manager. Windows vCenter Server supported. Native Kubernetes not supported. No VM template versioning. vCenter Update Planner does not exist. vCenter can be upgraded from VMI console. vSphere 7.0 features are as below. Only HTML5 client supported. Hardware version 17. VMware Lifecycle Manager. Only vCenter appliance supported. Native Kubernetes is supported. VM template versioning supported for templates stored in content library. vCenter Update Planner is inbuilt with vSphere. We can use it to perform pre-upgrade check and interoperability between different VMware products. Question 64. What are the plugins available for vCenter? Answer. vCenter Server plugins extend the capabilities of vCenter Server by providing additional features and functions. Some plugins are installed as part of the base vCenter Server product. vCenter Storage Monitoring allows you to review information on storage use and to map relationships visually between all storage entities available in vCenter Server. vCenter Hardware Status uses CIM monitoring to display the hardware status of hosts that vCenter Server manages. vCenter Service Status displays the status of vCenter services. Some additional plugins are: vSphere Lifecycle Manager enables administrators to apply updates and patches across ESXi hosts and all managed virtual machines. Administrators can create user-defined security baselines that represent a set of security standards. Security administrators can compare hosts and virtual machines against these baselines to identify and remediate systems that are not in compliance. vRealize Orchestrator, a workflow engine that enables you to create and run automated workflows in your vSphere environment. Stay tuned in. for next upcoming video series of recent interview questions asked by interviewers in 2024. All the best for your interview. We will help you to be prepared with latest unexpected question series and you will be able to answer them successfully.